Humble Saturn, please give us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so it is. It's the day of Jupiter and the hour of Jupiter. I'm Reverend Devin Malone, and you're listening to Selene's Gateway, Morning Edition. Helios is at 6 degrees and 47 minutes of Aries. Selene is at 28 degrees and 14 minutes of Cancer. The ascendant is at 8 degrees and 58 minutes of Aries. The chart is cast for Washington, D.C. at 7:08 a.m. Eastern Daytime. Our final dispositor for sunrise is once again Selene in the tropical zodiac of Cancer. Selene's last aspect was a square to Venus, allowing for some sensual tension, and the next aspect is a sextile to Uranus just before moving into Leo for the next couple of days. The Lord of the day and hour is Jupiter, and he sits very strong in his exaltation of the tropical sign of Cancer, while still very close to the projected degree of the star Sirius. For today's prayer, instead of choosing from the Theoi catalog, today I'm sharing my Initiate's Prayer to Jupiter. This is a prayer that I wrote that is based on the significations of Jupiter as presented in the Great Introduction by Abu Mashar, who died 886 CE, an inspirational astrologer from the Islamic period. What I've done is simply taken the significations and woven them into a prayer form, and its intention is to help practitioners to gain a broader list of keywords to associate with the greater benefic. As always, you'll find it in the written version of the podcast on Patreon at Selene's Gateway if you wish to read along. And it goes as such. The Initiate's Ode to Jupiter. Dearest, most joyful, benevolent one, the esteemed and gracious, the buoyant and forgiving, the honored and praised. Dear Jupiter, welcome, welcome into our abode. We honor you in great regard. We are ever pleased to be receiving you. How dear you are to our hearts. A toast to our honored guest Jupiter, for he is temperate in his manner and sanguine in his presence, the greatest of benefics, and rejoices in the daylight, for he gives us great fortune and life. Hail to kind Jupiter, for he tells us of the living, of young children, grandchildren, nephews, and nieces. Hail to the wise Jupiter, for he is the judges and experts in law, philosophers in wisdom, discernment, justice, and fairness. Hail to Jupiter, the one who ponders, for he knows the science of dreams and their meaning, the eternal student of religion and worship, truth and piety. Hail to great Jupiter, the leader. He commands the good and forbids the wrong. He is dedication, faith, praiseworthiness, the zealous, but with moderate haste. Hail to Jupiter, the mighty ruler. He leads us to triumph and abundance, righteous victory over the wicked, righteous leaders, noble kings, and noble scholars. A toast to Jupiter the wealthy. He is the wealth that is not greedy, the grower of profits that multiply, though he is also the trappings that may come with wealth. Hail to Jupiter the kind. He is of good character, generosity, and hospitality. He is the charitable and giver of gifts. He is the one who loves to help and support. Blessings to Jupiter the wise confidant, who with the broadness of mind offers wise counsel and advice, who blesses friendships and companionships. A toast to Jupiter the philosopher king. He is the bond between ruler and subject, the coach and his team, the shepherd and his flock. Hail to Jupiter the extravagant, known for his beautiful architecture, creating beauty in the world and comfortable living. His children are known for their lavish adornments. A toast to the belly laughing Jupiter, to his humor and teasing, for spreading joyous love, for sharing in fortune and mirth. Great honors to Jupiter the noble, who aids us in advancement in social standing. He is the lover of justice and has disdain for injustice, who keeps his oaths and gives good instruction. Blessings to Jupiter the generous. He gives to the less fortunate. He pays his debts to the poor. He is the benefactor of hospitals, schools, and orphanages. Blessings to Jupiter's children, the noble, viziers, magistrate, and judges, the courtiers, the wealthy merchants, the imams, the candle makers, the lamp makers, and the inspectors. Hail to Jupiter! You enlighten our souls and broaden our minds. You comfort our hearts and bring belly laughter abound. You generate life, joy, and abundance. Accept our gratitude for your presence. Fill our lives with joy and abundance, wisdom and faith, hope and piety, honor and dignity. May our coffers and bellies be overflowing, that we may share as you've taught us to share. Praise, glory, blessings, and honor to you, dearest Jupiter, the greatest benefic. And so it is. And so it is. Let me know what stands out to you. Did you learn something about Jupiter's significations that you may not have known before? A lot has been expected of Jupiter in Cancer since its ingress in the summer of 2025. However, the position of Saturn rising first every day and thus being in what's known as the overcoming position to Jupiter brings a commanding heaviness that weighs down Jupiter's jolly disposition. In conversation with other astrologers, some of us agree that what Jupiter is mitigating or preventing is even harsher conditions than what we may have been recognizing. It may also be a good case study for those that lean closer to the sidereal zodiac to see if Jupiter's positive influence improves as he moves into sidereal Cancer. If you've opened Selene's almanac, you'll see that I do take both sidereal and tropical into consideration. So, from an observational consideration, you may want to take note of June 6th at 6:36 Eastern Daytime in Washington, D.C. This is when Jupiter moves into sidereal Cancer from the Fagan-Bradley sidereal degrees. Astrology in its deepest roots has been learned, practiced, and passed on by making collected observations. So together, let's observe this shift. If you use a different sidereal anchor, you may have a different ingress time and date. So please leave that in the comments below. The tarot card for the day is the Fool. The Fool invites us to open and whimsical the Fool invites us to be open and whimsical, and I don't edit. To shed rigid beliefs and expectations in the journey ahead. The Fool is curious and unapologetic with who they are and want to be when they grow up. Grow up? Why, that would truly be foolish. The Fool accepts that they don't actually know what they are doing and where they are going. In the Golden Dawn system, the Fool is placed at 0 degrees and 0 minutes of Aries, considered the natural starting point of the tropical zodiac. It's here that the northward bound equinox or spring equinox in the northern hemisphere takes place. To me, the equinoxes are pure natural observable magic. Out of the whole 365 days and a quarter in a year, They're the only two that get the whole planet to experience as close to equal day and night as possible. Isn't that amazing? Most of the ancient calendrical systems cross-culturally have some sort of way to mark these moments. The Fool carries this fresh start, standing on the pinprick of balance energy, usually with one foot planted and the other in the air. The traditional Rider-Waite Smith Fool steps towards a cliff and seems unaware. The philosopher Alan Watts often reminds us that everywhere we go, we are arriving and leaving simultaneously. To expect we know exactly what's going to happen wherever we arrive is truly foolish. Even when you make a regular trip to, say, a coffee shop in the morning, you can try to curate the most predictable and efficient experience you desire, yet everything is still not the same as it was before. The Fool invites us to step into each sunrise with the same curiosity, allowing the fresh daylight to reveal the beauty of nuance in each day, knowing that how you receive that day and its experiences is completely subjective to you, co-created by everything you've done before now and everything that has been done by the world around you. Today's card comes once again from the Journey to Oz and Wonderland. You can see the image of the card in the written format of the podcast on the Patreon. Of the two stories being compiled together in this deck, Alice gets to play the Fool, whereas Dorothy gets her own special major arcana that has been added to the end of the deck. If it wasn't for Alice's curious nature to follow a quite odd-looking rabbit into a dark unknown, we wouldn't even have a story at all. Where in your life could you be more curious that may lead you to a new adventure? Now, as always, I will read from the booklet provided by the artists themselves. Me? The Fool, Alice. Keywords: new beginnings, innocence, potential, adventure, travel, faith, trust, hope, and enthusiasm. Alice had begun to think that very few things indeed were really impossible. On a serene riverbank in London, Alice, bright with boldness and curiosity, spotted a creature with shimmering white ears. Chasing its elusive path, she was drawn to an alluring rabbit hole. With wonder in her eyes, she embarked on a journey into the unknown. Message: like the white rabbit she follows, Alice's trust in her intuition guides her through the mysteries of Wonderland. Her belief in limitless possibilities illuminates her path, inspiring awe and openness. Alice reminds us to harness our curiosity and daring spirit. With a grounded sense of self, we can explore without losing direction, unlocking deep self-discovery. In reverse, you may find yourself wandering through Wonderland feeling disoriented, like Alice's many attempts to manipulate her size by consuming mysterious foods. You may be struggling to find stability and groundedness. This serves as a reminder to balance your adventurous spirit with self-awareness and a connection to reality. It is a great reminder that we can't be fools all the time. And we do need to anchor ourselves in the moment, in the present, in order to truly step firmly into the lives that we want to lead. The astrology I want to highlight for today is the moon's ingress into Leo. Though Luna makes every aspect to each planet every month, or as Gemini Brett likes to say, moonth, this first trip through Leo since the sun's ingress into Aries makes a shift in the Leo part of her cycle. When the sun moves through Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, it leaves Leo disenfranchised. In Capricorn, the sun doesn't make a traditional aspect or line of sight to its main home. In Aquarius, the sun finds its detriment or estrangement, thus leaving Leo with less than favorable resources and strength. Then finally, once again in Pisces, the sun makes no traditional aspect to its sacred summer lands. So the moon's passage through Leo during that period of time is rocky or aimless and has been susceptible to the opposition to Pluto without the empowerment of the sun. So now we get a completely different flow to Leo. Luna will trine Neptune, then Saturn, oppose Pluto, and trine the Sun in quick succession from 10 a.m. till 1 a.m. Eastern Daytime. That's a lot of work for Luna to put in just over 12 hours. With the Sun now being able to provide support from its exaltation in Aries and the Moon being in its waxing gibbous phase, we could expect some commotion for the day. As always, the best thing you can do is be your own astrologer. By watching the cycles, this is going to be a similar pattern repeated each spring for at least 2 more years with Saturn and 13 more years with Neptune and Pluto. The energy tides for the day are as follows. Our first high tide comes in at 3:04 in the morning. Our first low tide will go out at 10:42 a.m. The second high tide will come in at 2:03 p.m. and the second low tide will go out at around midnight. As always, these times don't need to be adjusted to your local time zone, but they are approximate based on the moon's motion and your personal latitude. The tidal energies are based on this waxing and waning, ebbing and flowing of energy that we experience throughout the day. You may notice them in traffic patterns or the busyness at the restaurants or other local places where people go are. You may find high tides as a very busy environment that you're stepping into, and you may find delays in low tides as they're being drawn together. You can learn more about the tide energies and the tides charts in Selene's almanac at the Patreon, free for download. Today's shadow hours are from 2:46 p.m. till 4:17 p.m. and then from 8:51 p.m. till 10:19 p.m. Today's daytime hours will be felt the strongest by those with the North Node in Sagittarius and Pisces, and in the evening for those with the North Node in Cancer. Once again, you can find a deeper explanation of the shadow hours by downloading Selene's Almanac at the Patreon. Finally, as always, I will bid farewell and end as we had began, and thus completing our circle for the morning. Humble Saturn, please help us accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May the fire inside guide you. You've been listening to Selene's Gateway Morning Edition. You can find my almanac at Patreon at Selene's Gateway. You can schedule a tarot or astrology reading from me at selenesgateway.com. And on social media, I'm known as the Esoteric Butcher.